Hello again, this is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener. We're going to talk about what type of rose is best for your garden. So if you like the idea of growing roses, you want to make these really cool bouquets like the one I showed you how to make on Mother's Day, but you're not quite sure where to start with roses, we're going to talk all about that. So there are basically 5 different kinds of roses that you could grow in your garden. There's actually a few more than that, but the 5 most common varieties, the common types of roses are what we're going to talk about in this video, and we're also going to give you specific examples in each one of those so you get to get a better sense of that. So the best time to buy roses is, of course, bare root season in January. And that's when you have the biggest variety of roses. You see these bare root containers in your nurseries, and so that's a really nice time to get roses. But you can buy roses any other time of the year. It's summertime, fall time. Really good nurseries are going to have roses all different types of the year. So we're going to kind of go through again the 5 kinds of rose types: floribunda, hybrids, grandifloras, climbers, and shrub roses. Kind of show you which one would be best depending on what you want out of your rose garden and your roses. So first up are the shrub roses. Now the most common kind of shrub roses are the David Austin roses that have these massive amounts of petals. They'll have up to 100 petals in each bloom. They're just packed. The great thing about shrub roses, and David Austin's in particular, is they are very disease resistant. Some of them have fragrance. They're not massively fragrant. They're primarily for giving lots of color and lots of bursts of color in your plant. But again, primarily disease resistant, especially like pink knockout's a great disease resistant rose as well. So the next variety are the floribundas. Now I love floribundas. Floribundas are wonderful roses for giving huge bouquets of roses. Floribundas, you're going to get 5 blooms to a stem. So if you have a lot of stems like what you see here, you're going to get a huge display of color. Now this particular variety is called Sexy Rexy. Gets about 4 feet tall, and as you can see, one rose bush will have 40 blooms on it in the springtime. It really gives you a big pizzazz of color, good disease resistance. So floribundas, great for lots and lots of color. Not a lot of fragrance. Most floribundas do not have much fragrance. There are some exceptions like this Sun Sprite that gives you some good fragrance on that. It's probably the most fragrant of all the floribundas out there. But I love them because, again, a lot of blooms on a single stem. You get bursts of color when you mass them together. These are floribundas, and they're really, really wonderful plants. Though especially the Iceberg series, the White Iceberg and the Burgundy Iceberg, those give you a lot of disease resistant and big bursts of color. Check that out. All right, the next variety of rose, the kind of rose rather, are the grandifloras. Now grandifloras are crosses between floribundas and hybrid teas, and we'll look at hybrid teas in just a second. Grandifloras will give you still potentially a bunch of blooms per stem, but they tend to be bigger. They tend to be hybrid tea size, so you are more commonly going to get a 1 bloom to a stem. Now, a lot of times with grandifloras, you're actually going to get 3 to a stem, so it kind of depends on how you want to grow those roses. Grandifloras, some of them have a lot of fragrance out there. Some of them are just beautiful, like this Love. Lots of great color in those guys. A bigger rose tend to be better in the back of a rose bed because they're going to get anywhere from 4 to 6 feet tall. Voodoo is one that gets about 6 feet tall. It's a huge rose bush. Good disease resistance in the grandifloras for the most part. But again, lots of color. Like you see with these grandifloras, 3 or 4 blooms to a stem, so you still get a lot. Some of them don't even look like roses, but a lot of disease resistance like this Bronze Star. Next we have the climbing roses. Now climbing roses are obviously great because you can train these up and over an arbor, over a fence. If you want to get the roses way up high, like you see with this arbor, this has the 4th of July rose all over it, which is a very disease resistant rose. Most climbers are not fragrant. So again, if you're looking for fragrance, not the best selection. But if you're looking for something really cool to go over an arbor or a fence, climbers are really great for that. 4th of July, in my opinion, is the best of all the climbers because it gives you the wild kaleidoscope of colors of the reds and the whites and the yellows. Really great. And there's lots of varieties out there that are also really great as well. So let's talk about fragrance. So if you are looking for that classic Beauty and the Beast fragrant rose, then you're going to want to get some hybrid teas out there. Now, in general, with hybrid teas, you're going to want, if you want fragrance, you want purples, you want reds. Firefighter is a really fragrant one. These are the ones that are your classic stems. So if you want a classic one rose to a stem in a vase, Beauty and the Beast, you want a hybrid tea. And there's a wide variety of colors. As you can see, these are just a few of the hybrid teas. Mr. Lincoln is, of course, one of the most fragrant and oldest roses out there. Still a great rose. Lots of great roses out there. Well, there you go. There's a list of all of these roses in the video description. And by the way, make sure to hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe to get more of my garden videos. Thank you so much for watching. That's all the time we have for today. This is Doug, the 2-Minute Gardener, saying, hey, make sure to hit that like button, and we will see you next time.